On the 19th of September 1996, during the regime of late General Sani Abacha in the city of Owerri, Imo State, an innocent 11-year-old boy named Anthony Ikechukwu Okoronkwo was murdered for rituals. The little boy was hawking boiled groundnut, which was his daily routine. He strolled along, selling his groundnut for peanut to whoever wanted to buy. When he got to Amakohia area of Owerri, his eyes lit up with joy when a customer beckoned on him to approach. The customer was named Innocent Ekanyang, aged 32. The boy was called into the famous Otokoto Hotel, and the little groundnut seller was visibly very excited. Since it was a hotel, it meant that the new customer would probably be buying plenty groundnut, which would mean more money to take home to make his parents happy and assist his struggling family. While waiting, the boy was treated like a guest. He was given a bottle of Coca-Cola to cool off from the punishing heat of the tropical African sun. Innocently, he took the Coke and gulped it down with relish as he was sipping his soft drink and taking a look at the glittering surrounding of the hotel. He could have imagined having a hotel of his own too later in the future. As he was dreaming, his vision became blurry and the sounds around him became muzzled and dull. And in a matter of minutes, he dozed off, never to wake up again. His tray full of groundnut was lying in a corner. Observing the boy from a safe distance was the man who had called him to buy his groundnut. He had eventually spiked the boy's drink, and once he saw he was asleep, he took the limp body of the drug lad into one of the hotel rooms, and what followed next remains one of the most evil things anyone can ever think of. A sharp cutlass emerged from nowhere and the boy's head was severed from his body. He was beheaded in a matter of minutes. After the boy's head was cut off, he disemboweled his torso, removed his liver and other parts he needed. Not done yet, the boy's genitals were not spared as well. After butchering the body and sorting out the organs, he packed his head inside a polythene bag and buried his remains. The butcher, Ekanyang, then took the polythene bag containing the boy's head and headed for the next destination, to the house of the man who needed the fresh head, the man who is behind it all. After the gruesome murder of little Okoronkwo by Mr. Innocent Ikechukwu, what a name, Innocent indeed, he left the hotel to deliver the head where it was needed. He then stopped a bike man, popularly known as Okada Rider, to convey him to the place. It was the Okada Rider named Okpara whom he stopped to take him to his destination in Eziama that realized that his passenger was carrying a polythene bag with a human head. It was still dripping blood. When he alighted, the Okada man quickly alerted the police. The police then intercepted Ekanyang on his way back in a Peugeot 504 car. He was carrying the head with him in a polythene bag. He was going to the residence of a highly influential figure named Chief Leonard Onago of Eziama in present-day Ikeduru local government area in Imo State. But upon arriving his residence, he was told that Mr. Onago had gone to Lagos, so Ekanyang had no other option but to return to Owerri with the boy's head. When it was time to take the headless body of Ikechukwu to the local mortuary, there was a massive procession and protest by Owerri people. They came out in their thousands to protest the boy's ritual killings. They stayed around and within the hotel premises, waited for the police to confirm that it was indeed a ritual murder. While more were marching and trooping to the scene of the ritual murder as the news was spreading. It was in the midst of this tension that the local media station made its miscalculations. They showed the image of Innocent Ekanyang holding the head of his victim. The goal of the media was to assure the people of the police effort to tackle the problem and also help identify the boy and show transparency in the case. But what followed next was a catastrophe. All hell broke loose as the enraged people of Owerri went haywire. After the image was first broadcasted on the 24th of September 1996, residents of Owerri abandoned their businesses and congregated at the town's central marketplace. It was there they decided on the next plan of action and outlined their strategies to deal with the Otokoto headhunters. The news of the ritual killing spread rapidly. Every home in Owerri had heard news or seen the image of Okoronkwo's head or his shallow grave. Unemployed and disgruntled youths took over the park and issued threats to Owerri millionaires. From Owerri main market, the riot exploded and spread. The pattern of destruction was neat. The rampaging crowd first went to the morgue. From there, they rushed to the Otokoto Hotel and burnt it to the ground. From there, they went to the nearby palatial mansions of Chief Vincent Duru and destroyed his properties. His expensive cars were wrecked and Duru himself narrowly escaped. From there, the crowd split into attack groups and spread out to other sites of the privileged elite and unleash maximum destruction. The well-known Piano Plaza and stores, alongside other hotels, Chibet hotels and various business linked to the Otokoto and near associates were utterly destroyed. The Zubairu-led government later confiscated all the properties as recommended by the panel, which was headed by Justice P.C. Onumajoro. From there, the mob rushed to the palace of the traditional ruler and chairman of the State Council of Traditional Rulers, Ezeonu Egwumoke, later indicted alongside Aneke and Abure by the panel of inquiry, and burned down his residence and his petrol stations. They also destroyed the king's 15 air conditioners and many of his cars. They were not done yet. The crowd then headed for the residence of former Imo State government officials. These administrators were targeted because of what was described as their alleged unwillingness to properly tackle severe cases of ritual murder, kidnapping and robbery while in office. The angry rioters only agreed to calm down when the military administrator assured them that a full state-level investigation of the incident was going to be launched. Ikechukwu, who murdered the boy, was aged 32 and he worked as a gardener inside the Otokoto Hotel. At the time of its existence, the Otokoto Hotel was located in an upscale area of Owerri, specifically the Amakohia side, and it was a favorite location for the rich and wealthy youth to meet, drink and have all manners of fun. The hotel was made up of 3 buildings, 3, 5 and 6 story each, one behind the other. It was owned by Chief Vincent Duro, the father of Obidiozo Duro, the leader of the Black Scorpion secret cult that was responsible for robberies and kidnapping of children in the states. Before this horrible incident, the people of Owerri were already very mad at the bizarre actions of some loud, extremely powerful, obscenely wealthy individuals in the state. These people were highly connected and oppressed everyone where they went. Rumors were all over the places as their very dark dealings and even the possibility of ritual murders and killings, but no one really had any hard evidence yet, or probably those who had it were too jittery to say anything. Whatever the case might have been, these rich people who had no really tangible or easily traceable source of wealth kept on living large and instilling an atmosphere of terror and fear on Owerri populace. This was how Owerri city was described at the time when the people heard of what happened inside the hotel to the boy. Owerri exploded with anger and resentment that had been piling up for years. For 2 straight days, the people of Owerri trooped out in their thousands protesting and rioting. Not even the strong arm tactics of the Imo State Military Administrator Colonel Tanko stopped them. To cap it all, the administration of former Governor Navy Captain James Aneke was already seen as a corrupt 419 base and even complicit in the protection of the Otokoto men. They simply ran amok, and the national and international media focused on the Owerri riot of 24th and 25th of September 1996. Also known as the Otokoto riot, the people felt they had had more than enough. It got so bad that any properties suspected to belong to the Otokoto men were set ablaze, from posh hotels to luxury supermarkets, their flashy automobiles, palatial mansions. Everything was destroyed and burnt to the ground. Any suspected member of the Otokoto gang was lynched. Prior to the riot, the youthful members of the Otokoto gang and other secret societies, believed to be offshoot of the campus secret cult involved in ritual killings, went everywhere oppressing others with their ill-gotten wealth, making others hardworking youth look clueless and silly. The Owerri public had no faith in the police, and as a matter of fact, the commissioner of police at the time, David Abure, was seen as a personification of corruption who wine and dine with the evil ones. Following the arrest of Ikechukwu, he was remanded in police custody while awaiting trial. But while he was in police custody, magic happened. He was killed by food poisoning 4 days after. He killed the boy on Thursday, and by Sunday morning, he was found dead. But luckily for the interrogators, before he was killed, Ikechukwu confessed and mentioned Leonard Onuagu as the brain behind the ritual killing syndicate. He confessed that the ritual killing ring was a well-organized machine that specialized in the harvesting of human body parts and sold them to those interested in using them for rituals and all the usual nonsense they claimed to be using them for. He also said was Onuagu who ordered him to get a human head. Report has it that the Otokoto saga had been in place as far back as 1976. Confessional statement revealed that no one was spared at the Otokoto hotel. Innocent guests and unsuspecting travelers who lodged at the hotel were either drugged or attacked in the middle of their sleep and hacked to death, after which they were cut into pieces for sale. Police officers who swooped upon the hotel discovered not only the shallow grave containing that of the little boy, but also graves containing other victims with their decomposing and dismembered bodies. No one knows the exact number of people that were exhumed at the Otokoto Hotel, but it was rumored to be up to 24 bodies. Some were even buried at such unsuspicious locations such as under the flower bed. Such evil, such horror. The man who was mentioned by Ikechukwu before he was poisoned to death, Leonard Onuagu, was a business tycoon in Owerri, and also at the time was a younger brother to Lars Onuagu, a serving minister under the Abacha regime. Leonard Onuagu was eventually arrested by the police. When the police arrested Onuagu, he lied with a straight face that he never knew anyone called Innocent Ikechukwu and that he was not even in Owerri when the crime was committed, saying he was in Lagos. The trial of the case started on the 9th of December 1996 with Hilary Ngozi Opara as the first prosecution witness. 9 people testified before Justice S. O. Ekpe, who took over from Justice Gabriel Ejako. The court also admitted confessional statement of Innocent Ikechukwu. Margaret Achelonu, a receptionist of the hotel, stated that 2 spots were dug at the hotel premises and it was from the second one that the body of Okoronkwo was exhumed. She also implicated Chief Duru. She also noted that on that fateful day, she saw Ikechukwu with a black bag and he told her he was going to his village at Eziama. A Sergeant Sunday Onwucheka told the court he was in the office when Ikechukwu was arrested with a fresh human head of the innocent boy. According to Onwucheka, before the police took Ikechukwu to Otokoto Hotel, the crime scene, he confessed to killing the boy at Mba River in Ikeduru and dumped the body inside the river. The police followed the first trail but found nothing at the Mba River. So at about 7 p.m. on the 20th of September, they returned to Owerri. The following Monday, they continued with their investigation and took him to Otokoto Hotel, where the headless body of the boy had already been identified before the police team arrived. On 20th August 1997, the Senior Magistrate Court in Owerri docked 9 police officers for the murder of Ikechukwu. The case snailed on till 14th October 1997, over a year, and after a series of adjournments, absence of lawyers, presiding judges, suspects, or even the retirement of judges or their transfer. When the case finally resumed, many were pissed off. Leonard Onuagu, the minister's brother, was transferred in a new station wagon from the prison to the court like royalty. Vincent Duru and other suspects were brought in Black Maria from prison to court with handcuffs. Duru protested the preferential treatment given to Onuagu. Many judges handled the case. First, it was Gabriel Ojako, then Simon Ekpe, who was almost done with the prosecution until he was elevated to the Court of Appeal. Then finally, on 28 April 1999, Justice Chioma Nwosu Iheme. She then sentenced all 7 suspects to death. However, just like the Nigerian system is, they were all sent to prison. He appealed the sentence in 2012 but was unlucky, as the sentence was upheld by the appeal court. Leonard Onuagu, he would later die some years ago in the Port Harcourt prison in what was described as very mysterious circumstances. After the judgment, the convicts were all moved to Port Harcourt prison in the middle of February 2003 pending their execution. Prior to the case of Okoronkwo, several children had disappeared in Owerri, never to be found till date. Some were kidnapped and their wealthy parents would pay ransom. It was so serious that in May 1995, the daughter of Dr. Oku, a physician in the city, was kidnapped by the Black Scorpion, one of the elite secret court, and asked the doctor to pay about $12,000 before the girl would be released. Eventually, the police stormed the hideout of the Black Scorpion months later. The leader of the cult, Obiozo Duru, who happens also to be the son of Chief Vincent Duru, and Amanze Onuoha, were both arrested. They were brought before the Imo State Robbery and Firearms Tribunal on the charges of armed robbery, capital offenses. Businessman and politician Emmanuel Iwanyanwu was also mentioned in the saga, but he denied ever knowing anything about the case. What happened next was nothing but a mockery of justice. Duru and Onuoha were both treated like royalties in the prisons rather than criminals awaiting death penalty. They got the most liberal visiting privileges, ate food cooked and brought from their homes. Duru even went ahead to impregnate one of his female jailers and even did a traditional wedding with her before he completed his case. And while they were incarcerated, the rate of child kidnappings in Imo State dropped drastically. In 1997, 6 people were executed by firing squad following a judgment by Justice Emmanuel. One of those killed was Obiozo, the son of Chief Vincent Duru, the leader of the Black Scorpion Cult group. This was indeed the story of the Otokoto ritual killings in Owerri City in 1996. Funny enough, Nigeria is still in the grasp of ritual killers. Almost 2 decades after the Otokoto saga, the same factors that gave birth to the 1996 Otokoto ritual killings are still in place today. Poverty, irrational beliefs in supernatural powers that lead people to believe money can be made from flesh without doing any work, weak and corrupt law enforcement agencies, and a super slow judgmental system. The presence of these factors explains why after the bloody Otokoto saga, the country still had to face the Okija Ogugu Shrine saga in Anambra State and the Soka Forest horror of Oyo State. Guys, do well to drop your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you.